All right, you deep divers, it's time to dust off your starter jackets, rip off those tearaways, and blow into your game cartridges. I'm Sam Blanford.
I'm Pat Sellers.
And I'm Simon Blanford.
And we wish it was the 90s. Hold it together, Pat.
Already can't control himself.
Welcome to our newest segment, listeners, on Wish It Was the 90s. Cringe Factor. We're going to recap 2 YouTube clips today, both featuring Michael Barrymore. Before we get into it, I'd like to do a little plug of our social media platforms. Recently, we just had a 500 like reel of our X-Men podcast. So give us a like on WIWT90S. That's really the only thing that matters. You can go on our Facebook page or subscribe to our YouTube channel. Those are probably the key ones.
OnlyFans, yeah.
Yeah, OnlyFans, subscribe to those. Before you listen to this, you need to stop what you're doing, load up your YouTube and search for 2 videos. Michael Barrymore, See You When You Get There, and Michael Barrymore, Backstreet's Back. And Pat and I don't really know much about Michael Barrymore, so who are you? Simon, can you give us a bit of a background of Michael Barrymore?
Yeah, I think I can. So I just want to touch on what you said there, Sam, about looking up the YouTube videos. Hopefully you've paused at this point and you've watched the videos. But because they are, I mean, I've had a wedding day, I've had 2 kids, and I've had to think about what is the best moment of my life, really. Was it watching those videos or the wedding day? And it was the wedding day and the kids, but, you know, the videos come close. But Barrymore was appointment television in the UK, and he was also appointment television in New Zealand for basically anyone over the age of 60, I think, in the 90s. He had a talk show where he, interviewed sort of lowbrow Parkinson type thing, and the show that we see is something about Barrymore, what I call music or something like that. And he also did, I think, Kids Say the Darndest Things or something like that.
Yeah, I've seen a few clips of that.
Yeah, he was sort of a semi-respected entertainer, and then quite a public downfall involving a party at his house where a man, I think, was drowned. He didn't report the fact that a man was drowned, and it basically ended his career. And he's made a brief comeback now, but
has he?
Yeah, very brief. He's around, but he hasn't quite reached the dizzying heights of these 2 clips. I mean, the fact that he was allowed to even do these clips kind of gives you an idea of how somewhat big he was, because with anyone else, surely they would have said, nah, mate, that's a terrible idea.
And also how ridiculous the 90s were.
Exactly.
No, that still happens. Jimmy Fallon does this sort of stuff all the time.
And it's not. It's ironic because I don't know Jimmy Fallon very well at all. Is it?
I feel like this is what watching Jimmy Fallon in about 15 or so years would be like.
Sure.
When he's like, trying to do songs for celebrities and stuff.
I don't know. Jimmy Fallon kind of is taking the piss out of himself, though. This is not him taking the piss out of himself.
Oh, certainly not. I can't comment on Fallon, but this is genuinely Michael Barrymore thinking he is moving people with these songs, and I can't wait.
That is the best part.
Speaking of moving people, let's dive into See You When You Get There feet remission. And we'll just go in our best bits. So,
well, first of all, it's just one 3-minute, 25-second long best bit. There isn't. It's hard to pick anything out because this is 3 minutes of 25 seconds of just laugh out loud goodness. And you were really harsh in the rundown. You said a best bit each, so that's harsh, but I'm going to try. I think it has to be at about 1 minute 40. where it's sort of it has a sort of quite a long shot really, and it pans and moves for him arriving on stage, and he's just been kind of rapping / spoken word, and then he joins in with the chorus and starts to sidle along with each group. I think for me, it's impossible to choose, but I think that's my favourite bit when you hear that baritone come in with the what are they called? What's the chorus?
Remissions.
Remission.
Yeah.
Is that what? Yeah.
He's like he winks and sidles over, like, here we go, it's getting good here.
Yeah. Are we all going to end up with that bit? Because that is 1000% the best bit. When the remissions are in 3 pods, kind of like, almost like, almost like a rugby strategy. They're operating in 3 pods. He goes and visits each of them, and then gets out in front with his big hands in the air, with the camera from the top. Like that's 100% the best part, when he's just mingling in behind each of the pods to start with, and then what the fuck is this video?
The best part of him going around each of the pods is the third group of singers lingers behind them, and the other 2 kind of pods haven't really been giving him anything, and the third pod has this one woman in the middle who really is like taking that 60 seconds of fame, and she like turns to him, and he kind of like cranks his hands like Soldier Boy. He is absolutely in his element at that point. And at that bit is ridiculous, where it's all silent. He's like, "We'll see you when you get there."
I've got that written down, and I've spelt it as "We'll see you when you get," and I've spelled it as THIRRRRRRRR. There's no other.
I went THUUUUUURE.
Yeah. That is a great bit as well. And I've got a question about that final part, actually.
Okay. Just before we... Oh, yeah, what's your question?
Why is it we'll see you all of a sudden? Like, it's I'll see you when you get there, and then all of a sudden... And the irony of him saying we'll see you when you get there is that all Remission are just blanked out, and all the lights go away from them, and it's just one big spotlight on Barrymore.
And he's like soaking it in, and then he's like, and then he realized that he hasn't thanked Remission, and so he turned around, Remission, everybody.
It's the best part. He introduces Remission at the start. Remission, like, oh sweet, it's going to be a song by this chorus, and it's just Barrymore. It's just Barrymore. That is the secret. It's only Barrymore.
Do you know the context of like this episode or anything?
It was just my kind of music. So I think he just had like people on to play music that he approved of, and then maybe once per episode he did a cover with a band or with something like that. So apparently,
what the fuck was like the background video when he's doing the quote unquote rap?
Can we move to questions now?
I assumed that was part of it. Must have been something to do with what that episode was about or something. I don't know.
Well, I don't think we should give the man that much credit. Because that's one of my questions, is that why are there wartime clips like, going on in the background, like random wartime clips? Why is there then like Edmund Hillary shows up on it, like climbing Everest?
Well, this episode's going to be so much longer than we thought it was. There is so much in this fucking 3-minute video.
Like, what is going on with those?
We haven't even talked about what the decision was to not wrap it, which I agree with. He shouldn't have wrapped it. But
what do you call that?
What's up with obviously completely different to the Coolio lyrics? Did he come up with them,
poetry?
or did it like?
Yep, my question exactly. Did Barrymore write the quote unquote rap?
I reckon he did because he tries to rhyme chance and dance, but they don't rhyme in the way that he's with his accent.
Oh, yeah, we gave everyone
that's
a
good.
chance. That's a great line.
Yeah, what they really want to do.
Oh, is it random inspiring clips? Like
I don't know. I was like, sure, like it's just doesn't make any sense. There must have been some event or something during this episode, but also maybe not. Nothing else makes sense anyway.
you can't give them that much credit. You just can't.
Yeah. I think you might be right. I think I might be giving him too much credit there. So fuck knows what that stock footage was of, just
Random kids on the east end of London in World War Two. There's a. Can I just say 237? It's like 236, 237 in the clip. There is a woman who's just like,
Oh yeah, she hates it.
yeah,
is awful.
Yeah,
And they wouldn't have known until rehearsals because obviously it's reasonably well rehearsed. And during rehearsals they have to be like, "What the fuck have we got ourselves into?"
Do you reckon there was a stand-in for Barrymore at rehearsals that was like actually a singer? And then he's like refused to do rehearsals. He's like, "No, all right, we'll just go live." He marches straight into it with an amazing amount of confidence.
All right, we're going to flick to the comment section.
Oh God, there's some great comments. Where all hope in humanity goes to die, the YouTube comments have come up trumps here.
Yeah, so Pat, do you want to give us your favourite comment from the comment section?
I really like one of the more simple comments was, I feel like this was me saying I'd write, like, what a song. I can totally see why Coolio would cover it.
Before someone goes, I just want to, I don't think we should allow ourselves to pick the top comment, which...
Yeah, we discussed that before.
R.I.P. Coolio, thankfully immortalised in this performance, just as he would have wanted. Simon, did you have a favourite comment?
You go, and then I've got a few.
Just a little segue from you talking about a particular member of Remission. The dead eyes of the female singers are a lovely touch.
Yeah, Alan Buchanan came up trumps on that one. Yeah, I've got this is a bit of a dark one, but I particularly enjoy it. From Red 76.
Oh, surely no, we can't allow anything to do with swimming pools, can we?
Oh no, what's going in? This one's Sam can cut it out later.
I've got about 6 full comments from the next one.
Oh, good. This one's going out to all the people who thought not reporting a dead body floating in a swimming pool represented his career low point. Red 76. Stunner of a comment.
Oh, Red 76. Oh, fuck, we're getting edgy on this podcast.
All right, let's flick over to the Backstreet's Back video. Again, if you have not watched this yet, stop the podcast. Go and search it up and watch it. Pat?
I've kind of got probably my actual favourite, but it's going to go on my question that I've got for everyone. But so I'll just take probably the most obvious bit. It's pretty early on. But it definitely goes with the line, "Am I sexual?" which is paired with a stunning discarding of the blazer.
Yeah, I was definitely worried and waiting to see what he did at that "Am I sexual?" bit.
Is it me or you, Sam, for the best bit? Who do you think? I won't. You won't pick mine. So this is a real underground one. But at 13 seconds, replay it, ladies and gentlemen. At 13 seconds, there's a barely audible snicker / laugh from the person recording it on his phone. And like you can barely hear it, but it's just a pure joy. It's what we're all feeling when we're watching the clip. So that's my favourite, just the snicker from the recorder, who otherwise does a stellar job.
Yeah, that's good. I did say like his hand act start, the opening bit in particular, but actually his hand actions the whole time, the clenching and unclenching of his fists.
Goes through both videos too, all the hand movements.
Yeah, but the best bit was his frozen pose at the end.
Oh, wow.
The crowd's a bit of an extra bit in this, I reckon. They are really into it.
They add to it big time.
They must have got geared up because I feel like there have been few at that age bracket at that time probably didn't know the song. So they must have got queued up for all the yeah.
Heaps of the audience members looking at each other and going, yeah, at some point.
And they are delighted to be there. They are absolutely delighted to be there on the whole. Like, it's quite incredible how much fun they're having.
I think they're about as delighted as he is disappointed that he wasn't a part of the dance crew at the end.
So that leads to me to my question is, when towards the end, when you've got the dance crew on that backstage, how does he end up on that platform thing on his own that's elevated? Because it kind of does weird camera stuff and then he appears up there.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see him like just gingerly scale up.
And is he lip syncing the whole time, or is he just lip syncing at the end?
I think it's just at the end. I think he's singing at the start.
You can't be that good live. It was the crowd. There is a very strange mix of people in the crowd. They're all quite young, which is weird because Barrymore was so beloved by the oldies because I think they reminded him of like a forgotten age of entertainer, who was just cheesy and they loved all that stuff. And a few of the YouTube comments do relate to the crowd, but I'm sure people have some other questions about this masterpiece. I've got one other question, by the way.
Yeah, you go with your question because mine's kind of a question about both.
Is this even more enjoyable watch than See You When You Get There?
I think See You When You Get There is better. I give it the edge.
Yeah, it's a hard one, eh? I feel like I kind of enjoy Everybody more because you can just only laugh at Barrymore the whole time, and you don't feel quite as bad about laughing. Whereas like you do a little bit feel bad in the first one because those poor people singing with them. It's a bit like the comparison between season 1 and season 2 of The Office. Like I enjoy season 1 more because you don't have to worry about Neil the whole time. Cut that out, Sam. That's a terrible comparison. But
I feel like Barrymore's enjoying this one more. I feel like Barrymore's more into this Backstreet. Like I feel like he's really feeling himself in this one. Like he's never short of confidence, but this one he's like from the get-go with the sharp dance moves. I think he's like, I'm absolutely killing it here.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And the real tragedy is that in the YouTube comments, there's quite a few, you probably would have seen it, referring to him doing Puff Daddy's I'll Be Missing You on the same show.
Yeah,
it's never shown up on the internet. And that, for all the joy we got from these two, can you imagine? We'd have to do an emergency pod if that ever came online. It'd have to be straight out, because that would be big news if that ever showed up on YouTube.
Any listeners? If you can dig it out, get it up on YouTube.
Absolutely, dig it out.
In the comments, it does refer to the fact that this had been posted previously and then taken down. My question was, did you show your wives this?
She said, "Why are you guys doing an episode on this?"
Yeah, Zara loved it. Yeah, she didn't quite question the episode, but she was thinking it. She was thinking it.
Comment section. What have we got, Simon?
Well, we're not going for that first one, right? We can't go for the first comment.
Oh, so tell us the top comment, please, first.
Top comment, Joe Emery. Not a day has passed since the year 2000 where I haven't searched the internet and prayed that someone would upload this to YouTube.
Fantastic.
Me and Sam were talking about this earlier. That comment's real good if you're thinking about how many times if that guy's just thinking about that and trying to explain this clip to people. It was Simon Barrymore on, and he'd done Backstreet Boys. You can imagine him explaining it at the pub all the time.
Oh, you couldn't.
It's great stuff.
Ian McDonald, just 7 days ago, Ian. This is one I was privileged to witness when first broadcast. I remember even around 10 years old thinking, what the fuck is he doing?
Pat?
I think my favourite one is someone had said that they'd told their kids that it was Richard E. Grant. It's a good stitch up.
I got heaps of comments. There's a lot of comments about the pool party.
Sure.
There's a lot, yeah. I was avoiding them.
I'm just going to lean into them.
Yeah.
Point of view. You're at a pool party and someone puts this on. Top guy. Absolutely mad. Don't go to a pool party with him. But I don't know who Pat Boone is, but it just says best cover since Pat Boone did Me So Horny.
Yeah, I saw that one as well. I was also thinking who's Pat Boone, but I still thought it was funny.
Oh, that's great. So
I got more comments, mate.
Let him rip.
I did not think See You When You Get There could be topped. I was wrong. Never has there been another performer who was so self-unaware to how truly awful his own voice is. And this is him miming. Steve Severa. I've waited years to see this again, and it's just as horrific as the scar in my memory told me it was when I saw it all those years ago. I dread to think what drugs he was consuming to do this without realising what an utter twonk he looks. Staggering, horrific, yet incredible.
There was a comment in there along those lines. It was just the classic cocaine, the hell of a drug.
So the podcast is called Cringe Factor. Cringe Factor out of 10. What are you giving these videos, Simon?
I'm giving this a 9.5 on the Cringe Factor. I can't give it a 10. But actually, I'm only going to go 9, not 9.5, because it's just too damn enjoyable to be a true 10 out of 10 cringe. In the first one, yep, there's parts where it's cringe because you feel for remission. In the second one, I just feel nothing but pure, unadulterated joy the whole time. I don't feel sorry for anyone, so I can't give it a 10. It's a 9.
Pat?
I'm going to disagree. Seeing as this is a new series of ours, I'd say going forward we should be rating the Cringe Factor from 0 to Michael Barrymore saying "See You When You Get There."
Yeah, it's a good shout.
I'm going to be thinking about this for weeks. Like, I've lost so much time already. I can see it. Just don't understand what I watched.
How old do you think you need to be to find this cringeworthy? Oh, not cringeworthy, funny.
Just, I think, alive.
It does feel like our sort of era, just weird shit. It really fills that gap.
Yeah. Anything under 70. Anything under 70. Surely to God.
Mm.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was same as you, Simon. Less cringe, more just absolute hilarity. I'd give it a 9.
I'm really worried about future episodes then. If it's are we going to get one to top it? Because that's like I have a heart attack with something watching something more cringe than that.
On the ridiculous factor, it's 1,000 out of 10.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous. Like, David Brent is the most self-aware person in the world compared to Michael Barrymore. You know, if it's a ridiculous factor, it's impossible. You couldn't. If Alan Partridge, if that was like a bit on Alan Partridge, you go, this is too stupid. This is too ridiculous. It will never happen. You know.
Yeah, I think Partridge got a few mentions in the comments along those lines.
Yeah, in fact, the title says he goes full accidental Partridge, which is fantastic.
If you do have any cringeworthy videos that you think we would enjoy covering, it's up in the Slacks.
Well, it's actually only just our mates who listen to this, so just text us.
That's good.
Just to round the podcast out, I've got one final YouTube comment.
For those of you too young to remember, the moment Barrymore stepped onto the stage to sing with remission, racism ended, and world peace was achieved. When the guy was found buggered to death in his pool, it all came back within 10 minutes.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, what you really want to do.